We all face love, life, and hard choices every day. This is the Dilemma of a Good One podcast. Welcome.
Excuse me? I don't mean to bother you. I just want to know if you have a Band-Aid by chance.
Oh, no, I'm sorry.
No, that's crazy because I scraped my knee when I fell for you.
Oh, wow.
You appreciate it. What's your name?
Jake.
Jake, I'm Nadia.
Nadia.
Great to meet you, Jake.
One, two, 3.
I'm sorry, I don't mean to bother you. Thank you. Can I ask you a quick question?
Yes.
Wait, before you go to the bathroom, I just want to know if you're part broom.
Part what?
Part broom?
What is that?
A broom? You don't know what a broom is?
Hell no.
No?
Hell
Because
no.
you just swept me off my feet.
Be quiet.
I'm serious. I'm serious.
Quiet.
What's your name?
You're not serious. You're not, yeah. You're
I'm not serious?
No, you're not.
Why can't I be serious?
You're not serious.
What's your name?
You're a liar.
What's your name?
Swear.
Let me take you to the bathroom. Come on.
Oh, you're a liar.
Come on. You don't gotta use the bathroom anymore?
You're a liar.
I guess you don't have to use the bathroom anymore. All right. Hope you have a great
Look at
day.
him. Look at him.
You're too handsome not to have a great day. Excuse me.
Hey, how you doing?
I'm good. I don't mean to bother you, but your hand looks really heavy.
Heavy?
Can I hold it for you?
That's fine. Yeah, you got soft hands.
Thank you.
Let's do it.
Hi there. What's your name?
What's your name?
Slim. I'm Nadia. Great to meet you.
Nadia, you all right?
Yeah, you know, I'm pretty and you're cute, so together we could be pretty cute.
I feel that.
You feel
You
that?
got some game, huh?
Yeah.
Want to go have on a baby?
Oh my gosh, yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Tomorrow?
Yeah, we going raw on the first night?
Yeah.
Yeah.
What you got for me, Reposado?
Yeah, boy.
Well, he is not. He ignored me.
Oh, you
He
ignored him?
ignored the hell out of me.
I knew what you were doing. You're not looking for love?
He dubbed me.
That's very light skin of you, though.
Light skin and handsome.
I'm on
Crazy
first.
combination.
She done pulled out the best.
Hi, how are you doing?
Good, I'm good. And yourself?
What's your name?
Jermaine.
Jermaine, I'm Nadia.
Nice to meet you.
You look amazing today. Like you put that on for real.
You look great. Thank you for
Thank
that.
you. When they say that Disney World is the happiest place on earth, whoever made that up obviously wasn't standing next to you.
Oh, yeah?
Mm-hmm.
Really now?
There wasn't.
I ain't gonna lie. That's a fire pickup line. I ain't gonna hold you.
What you doing after this?
I ain't gonna lie.
The answer is me. Come on.
No. That's you, for sure. Yeah.
Sorry, friend.
Yeah.
Genesis to Revelation.
All right, man. What's going on? You
This the
ready?
story of a good one.
Yeah, I'm ready, brother.
Madness.
All right, well.
Let it be
What's up,
known.
y'all? DJ Ron, the classic DJ from the Bay, also known as Righteous Ron. Not because I'm there, but I'm certainly striving for it. Haven't quite reached it yet, but you know, it's always good to have good people in your life. And as a matter of fact, tonight I'm going to share the plateau or the platform though with one of the good people in my life. This young man right here, known to some, so I'm going to be introducing to others. But I've always said about him that if I had a chance to pick who my little brother would be, it'd be this young man. Just knowing him as well as I've known him for close to 20 years now, and watching him grow, watching him do things, he's actually accumulated a status in his life that I aspire to go for. You know what I mean? And I believe I'm like 10 or so years older than him. You know what I mean? So that just speaks to the maturity and everything else. So without any further ado, any delay, I introduce to y'all my little brother in life, Mr. Damian Law. How you doing, Mr. Law? How you feeling, bro?
Man, I'm blessed. How about you, brother?
Truly blessed by the best, and just want to thank you in advance for being on the platform tonight. I just want to thank you for it. And matter of fact, we're twinning. You know, we both represent them Niners. You know what I mean? Let me ask you real fast, just to kind of break the ice a little bit, man. What you think they're gonna do this year? How you see our schedule looking?
Man, I think they're gonna do good. I can't really put a number to, wins and losses. I do think we're gonna, sneak into the playoffs, and then, once we in the dance, anything can happen. So, with both of us being from the Bay, it would be, a beautiful thing for us to, get into the playoffs, do what we gotta do, and go ahead, host the Super Bowl, win the Super Bowl right here in our own backyard, but I could see us winning about 10 games if everybody stay healthy,
That's the key to it, because when I first looked at the schedule and literally like ran it through it and put my unbiased hat on, I got my 49er hat on right now, but unbiased hat on, looked at the schedule. I saw a legitimate 14-3, if not 13-4. You know what I mean? But you hit on something. Purdy gonna be out for this week. It's a lowly
Right.
Saints. If you've been a fan for a long time like me, so once upon a time there was just 2 wins on our schedule every season. But who knows what the Saints got up their sleeves this year? But hey, Mac Jones, drafted by the great Bill Belichick, didn't work out in New England. He's with us now. Maybe Kyle can get some mojo up out of him, and we're gonna see. But barring injuries, though, I feel like no matter what, we still should sneak into the playoffs no worse than 11-6. So only time gonna tell, right? Only time's gonna tell, man. So
Yeah, I like, man, me personally, I'm more so worried if Stafford stay healthy. That's really it, right? If Stafford's out of here, Jimmy's not gonna hold it down with the Rams. You know what I'm saying?
Rams,
So
what about the Rams? Okay, I'm listening.
you
Throw me
know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. Well, cause I think Stafford, that kind of quality quarterback that could put the team on his back. If he's healthy and he's slinging that, football down the field doing what he do, he's going to be tough. He's like, Tom Brady and the rest of the, Drew Brees and them, like, doesn't really matter who he got because he has that arm talent to pull out the wins when he needs to, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. And I think Matt Stafford, that kind of quarterback where, like, if he has to put stuff on his back, he'll figure it out and get it done. Throw his six string wide receivers for the final touchdown of the game or something. Like, that's how Matt could get it done. You know what I'm saying? But he's going through some injuries, I heard. So, if he's out, I'm no confident in Jimmy. We know what Jimmy don't like, what he do. You know what I'm saying?
He's of no consequence.
So I'm not worried about Jimmy. You know what I'm saying? Move to Cardinals. I think the Cardinals will be better, but I don't have confidence in Kyler. I think he got big talent, man. I just don't think he got what he takes to, put it all together. And so I'm not
conversation.
I'm not worried about the Cardinals. You know what I'm saying? And it's just what it is. I think Matt Stafford is the only real, question mark as far as our division.
The way we handle Seattle, Cardinals is the Cardinals. They picked up basically where the Falcons left out in our division. So, the Rams. Man, long as Harbaugh and the Chargers don't win the Super Bowl this year, I'm cool. But I'm like you, though. This is our second bite at the apple, man. The first time had a chance to play the Super Bowl at our house, didn't make it. Maybe this year will be our year, man. I hope so. Because the Chargers win it all. I'm done. I'm telling you now. I'm off the bit Mike Tomlin and the Steelers. That's gonna be my team. Serious, man. After 40 some odd years, I'd be done, man. If Harbaugh wins the Super Bowl before the Niners, I'm done.
No, go ahead, give him like 3 more years, man. You know what I'm saying? Before you make up your mind. 49 years being a fan, and then you make your decision. It just fits.
Harbaugh and the Chargers win the Super Bowl before the 49ers, I'm a Steelers fan. Officially.
Now he gonna win just because, you know what I'm saying, you said it now. They're gonna be like, oh, okay.
It'll be what it be. I'll leave my heart in San Francisco, but I will be a Steelers fan. So look, let's go ahead. Let's jump into it, man. This is what we call dilemma beginners. And I don't think you've heard this yet. You know what I mean? But definitely new for when I have people to join me on the pod. I know I thanked you once. I thanked you twice. I'm going to thank you one more time. Man, in the name of Jesus Christ, man, you are my brother in Christ as well. I say my brother in life, but my brother in Christ. So we're going to just jump right into it, man. I'm going to ask you the first question, and it's about 9 and 11 questions. It's actually going to be broken down just a little bit because I know some of the answers. So I'm going to tailor it just for you, okay? Just for you. But the first question I got for you, though, it's real simple, man. Just, short and sweet. It should be your answer. Have you seen or have you heard any of my content thus far? The Dilemma of a Good One's podcast. Good man, good woman. That's what we're talking about. So this is for the ladies as well as the men. Have you heard or seen any of my content?
Yeah. I know you personally, but before coming to the group, here on Facebook, I definitely, subscribe to you on YouTube. That's, to my knowledge, that's where, you really got it popping with the series, and it just kind of, blew up and grew from there. So anybody in the group, that is unaware of it, definitely check them out on YouTube, subscribe to the page, check out that content, and, you in the right spot. Facebook, YouTube, it doesn't matter, what platform you use the most or what platform you be on the most, man, you're going to find Righteous Ron right there doing what he do.
All right, and you said the name too. The channel is Righteous Ron, and it's going to be exclusively for the Dilemma of a Good One's podcast. Might be a couple other things, but it's going to be along the same thing: Christian content, talking about the dynamics of men, women, and the dilemmas that we go through. Because one thing about it is we all have our dilemmas in our life. Just not all of us are quick to talk about it, don't know how to talk about it. But here on this platform, we're going to share some problems, i.e. dilemmas, and some solutions, Lord willing. So next question, man. You care to give your age? I kind of hinted at it already, but you want to say your age?
Oh, age 40
Age
years
40
old.
years old, man.
Yeah, be 41 in February.
Yes, sir. That's right. That's right. And because I know your marital status, here's where the question flips a little bit. Is it safe? It's safe to say that you want a family, right?
Oh, most definitely.
All right. So what's your ideal family?
I would say originally, loving wife, what I'm saying, 4 kids, 2 boys, 2 girls. That's what I really wanted, back in my younger days. I know I look, very youthful, but, back when I was a little bit younger, that's what I wanted. That's what I thought I was going, really get early on after, shortly after high school. It just didn't turn out that way yet.
Yeah. Okay. 4 kids and a loving wife. Notice the adjective on that. She got to be loving and love, action word, loving. All right. So on that note, man, how long was your longest relationship in your lifetime? The longest relationship that you had?
My longest relationship, was collectively since I've been knowing her, dating her, off and on. It was probably about a total of about 8 years.
Okay. That's not a bad number. So are y'all currently seeing each other now, or would you say y'all broke it off for the time being?
No, we broke it off, a couple years ago, 2016, we broke it off 2016. We kind of, kept talking while it was, fresh, and was trying to see if we could, figure it out, make it work. The love was there, but, life kind of happens, location became an issue with us, moving forward with me being in NorCal, and her being in SoCal became a issue, and, we just kind of, legit gave it up, in 2019.
Okay. Well, who broke it off there? I know you said we, but was it mutual, or did she break it off, or was it you?
It was pretty mutual. She initiated it. I definitely would say she's been pretty much, a Southern California girl, like LA area. And she came up here, and she was living up here, with me in the Bay Area. And she just, essentially she just pretty much got really, homesick, where, her heart wanted, to go back down to LA, and because of, where I was at in life, my career and everything I had going on in the Bay, I couldn't make that move. So it was, if you really got to go back home, I understand, go back home and, be with your family if that's, if you feel like that's what's best, and that's what she decided to do.
Okay. Okay. Well, we're going to go ahead and just, move on to the next thing though. The topic that we're on today, this is going to be called For Starters Again. And the reason why it's again is because, initially on my original, Dilemma of a Good One's podcast, I actually did a video on it, and, I noticed that you were one of the people who commented on there, and, I just thought that it would be apropos, if you will, for the two of us to come and talk about it because, of course, I share my side of it. But it's time for a couple of men to talk to the women, and just, and just let it be known. So here's what I mean by for starters. You know what I mean? It's for people who are willing to start to make a first move. It's particularly on the scene and you see somebody that you like. You know what I mean? I know back in the days, for the most part, it's been men's sport to see her, to take a look at her, you know what I mean? Holler at her, pop at her, get a phone number or whatnot. Maybe tomorrow hook up, go out to dinner, whatever the case may be. You know what I mean? But time has brought about such a change, you know what I mean? Especially as the bigger our ages get, the bigger our resumes become as well, you know what I mean? And so in the process, what ends up happening is that, uh, well, let's keep it real, man. The dynamics, and this is my observation, I don't want people coming for me in the comments or whatnot, but my observation is that the dynamics have changed. People don't tend to be as friendly anymore. And I think that a lot of it has to be the fact that because we're a little bit older, we presumably are a little bit wiser. And so we feel like we know all the games, the angles and everything else that's going to be played. You understand what I'm saying? So naturally, what do? You know what I mean? When somebody try to take a shot, we block it. We want to be ready to block it. And although that's not the intentional scene, it's the outcome of it because, it's difficult oftentimes to even be at a liquor store. And I've seen reel after reel talking about it. And again, putting my observation with it, it's like, wow, not to say 100 times out of 100, this is what happens, but it's difficult to even try to talk to a young lady in the store. You know what I mean?
Right.
Without apprehensions of it, attention there or whatnot. You know what I mean? And she barely speaks if she does. You understand what I'm saying? And then when you finally we're thrown off, when we do get a hey back, and don't let her smile, and then, we might freeze up, you know what I mean? And, cause you just wasn't ready for it. So this is one where I'm going to begin with the problem, with the solution in mind. And this is something that I had in my notes right here. But this is for me to the ladies, just say, hey, look, if you can vibe with him and he's single and easygoing, let him know, sis. You know what I mean? Just let him know. We don't want to mess up a flow. You know what I mean? Men, we don't want to mess up a flow because it could just be something that's real friendly or whatnot. And that's what we're going to move in as. You know what I'm saying? I know me, typically the way I meet you is kind of the way we're going to be until it turns into something else. Organically, that's what we want for it to just evolve, but doesn't always happen that way. Back in the days, it was dog chase cat. You know what I mean? And men would chase women, but nowadays, what are we chasing though? Like I said, it's all about games. So, ladies, if you want them, be intentional. We're too old for games. We want substance. Men, these days, we want substance. The brothers say he want a loving wife. You understand what I'm saying? That's some substance, believe it or not. When I ask myself, why are these platforms nowadays talking if not two women? You know what I mean? I'm not a pill, blue pill problem, but I used to think that, person, I should say, red pill, blue pill. I don't know if you heard the concept before. I've heard it. I don't truly understand it. So therefore I can't subscribe, but I do know this. I feel like men are not always a problem. So even the great Kevin Samuels, man, no matter how you felt about him, he shifted from the men to the women because he started to realize that, you know what? It's not really the men that's the problem. He felt like women were a problem as well. And if you know me, you understand the podcast is called The Dilemma of a Good Man. Excuse me. It was started off as the dilemma of a good man, but now it's called the dilemma of a good one because we realize there are some good women out there. So the goal again is to bridge the gap of miscommunication that men and women tend to have in today's society. All right. So here we go again, bro. I'm about to reel you back in, man. But before I do so, I'm going to tell the story once again because I should have sent you a picture of her. I should have sent you a picture of her, man. As a matter of fact, Dane, we're going to pause for the calls. I'm going to send you a picture of her just so you can see what we're working with. And, you can come to your own conclusion, man. And again, here's the thing. I'm not here to slander no women and like that. You know what I mean? This is your personal opinion. You don't know the lady. And only she going to know who she is. If she see the pod, she going to know who she is. But no ill will, no ill feelings because that's not what we're doing. But just you right here for our audience, man. Give me a scale of 1 to 10. You look at these three pictures, and yes, you see the 49er gear. She's 4'11" and a half. So I don't know if that's any caveat that mean anything to you, but just letting you know. She's 4'11" and a half. So scale of 1 to 10, man, what would you rank her on the law scale? Just on looks alone, what would you rank her overall, bro? one scale of 1 to 10, man. I need a number. Okay, Kevin Samuels, it can't use 7.
Oh, the second picture. Okay. All right, bro.
Real talk. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'll give her an 8. You know what I'm saying? Like for me, looking at, picture 1, I think she's just a fine 6, right? Like, I think I'm a okay, 4 or okay 5, right? I'm an average guy. She's a little bit above average, on the first pick. And then you go to the second pick, though, second pick is fire.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? So, and just, just to let the audience know, the first pick, she's just, real relaxed, you know what I'm saying? She's just real relaxed, not a bad picture at all. So I don't want to make it seem like it's a very unattractive picture or anything like that. But the second picture is a nice picture. So it would be like me in my, Niner hat and t-shirt for the first picture, but then me in a nice suit on my second picture. That's how it is for just to get an audience, let them know that the jump.
Okay. And then of course you got the Niner gear, so that's a 10. We ain't gonna count that. We ain't gonna count that.
Yeah, she might drop some points, saying if it wasn't for us fans out here because of that, some Rams fans.
I just want to point out too, and I reached out to her first time, but who knows? It's through Messenger. I don't have her phone number. And she may or may not have saw it. And I may reach out again to her, and hopefully we'll have her on the pod in the near future. But I just want to point out one more thing. She's wearing very little to no makeup. And, she's naturally a cute lady. And I'm like Dame, man. I'm like Biggie said, heartthrob never, black and ugly as ever. However, no, seriously though, I believe personality is a great attribute. You know what I mean? That's what it's all about, right? Beauty is truly only skin deep. You know what I mean?
Right.
And so when I met her, she was the vibe. She was the vibe. So
and you get bonus points for that. You get the bonus points. So your 3s and 4s, but then you know what I'm saying, you got that awesome vibe. You get a point 2 or 3. You know what I'm saying?
Tell these ladies, man, that's how we see it. That's how we see it. So if she's an 8 on the eyes and her personality is on point, I've met a few of them in my lifetime. Instant 10. Instant 10. So, okay, I'll tell you the story about when I met her first, how I met her. I was DJing a party, and I don't know if people know this, but DJ Ron, a classic DJ from the Bay, when I'm DJing, I do not holler at no ladies at the party. She got to really be in my ear and in my face and kind of holler at me. That's the solution to the thing. Reason why I don't is because I don't want, Dame, I'm DJing your wedding. I don't want your wedding to get turned out because your sister's a nice looking lady, you know what I'm saying? And I'm trying to holler at your sister, but she got her boyfriend Tyrone sitting over there and he's a jealous type. You know what I'm saying? So I'm trying to holler at her, you know what I mean, or whatever. And then Tyrone wants to get,
right.
Man, this is my girl and everything else. Next thing you know, DJ then whooped on Tyrone, wedding over with, you know what I'm saying? Don't want that kind of problem. You feel me? I know it's far-fetched, but it can happen. You understand what I'm saying? Because it can happen. I don't indulge in it.
Right. It's a possibility, and you're not trying to mess up, their relationship situation and their special day, and at the same time, you're not trying to jeopardize your livelihood with your business.
Professionalism at its finest, bro. You picked up what I put down. So she was there at this birthday party that I DJ on behalf of my protege. So I was DJing, and she was nice. A couple of times she came over, requested songs and everything. Again, she stood out in the crowd. And she even asked me to dance. And I'm like, I really don't, like real talk, I really don't dance. And I hadn't even saw her dance, but I don't want to be embarrassed on the dance floor in front of people I don't know. I don't drink no alcohol no more. So it's really slim to no chance for me to dance in that situation. You understand? Plus, I got a DJ. I got to make sure the music keeps going. And this girl is a dancer, like for real. She can cut a rug. So yeah, I saved some grace that night. Well, we became Facebook friends, a little bit later. I saw a post, happy birthday, whoom, whoom. I added her as a friend, and so we've been cool and cordial ever since then. So she posted one day a throwback story. And here it is. These are her words. I start right here. Quote, years ago, I was out with my girls. parentheses, I was still living in ATL, in parentheses. And we sat at the bar at this restaurant. 3 guys walked in and sat at the opposite side of the bar. One of them was really attractive, and we kept having eye contact. 30 minutes later, I told the bartender to get that guy another round on me. An hour or so later, he still doesn't speak or acknowledge me. Next thing I know, he and his boys get up and leave. I said, WTF. Now, you know what WTF is, right?
Yeah, I know.
He must not like women. Y'all, I felt like a sucker and never brought a drink for another guy for a long ASS time. Rejection sucks. Ha 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 ha. Hashtag true story. Hashtag he was whack. Hashtag at least say thank you. Here we go, bro. What would you have done in that situation? Looking at her, and she said you a drink. You there with your boys. What's going on, man? What you gonna do?
So for me, it would definitely depend on like where I'm at in life, right? You know, what I'm looking for and etc. And I say that because, you know, out here in the Bay Area, we have, you know, all kinds of beautiful women, all different, you know, gender, races, ethnicities, you know, and, you know, finding somebody that you're attracted to is not hard out here at all. You know, but I'm a firm believer, like, I don't like wasting nobody's time if I can help it. You know what I'm saying? So if I'm somewhere in my life where like, I'm like actively dating, right? And I'm trying to be intentional with what I want. Like, remember, I wanted a wife and I wanted, you know, some kids and, you know what I'm saying? So if I'm actively trying to, you know, pursue that and trying to, you know, see, you know, who might, you know what I'm saying, be the one, you know, off of looks, especially like if she was looking like pick number 2 in the club, you know what I'm saying? I definitely would, hey, you know, thank you, man. You know, what's your name? I'm Damian, blah, blah, blah. You know what I'm saying? And, you know, we'll see what happens.
Yeah.
If, you know, at one point in time, I'm busy, you know what I'm saying, with whatever, right? Life or work or whatever the case may be. I know personally I don't have a lot of time to, you know, go out there dating, and hit the marketplace. You know, I definitely would say thank you. I think that's wild that you didn't even acknowledge the drink, right? That person, right?
Peace sign or do something.
Yeah, you know, saying no wave down or, you know, tell the bartender, you know, thanks or, you know, nothing. You know, I think that's wild. So I definitely would have acknowledged it and show my appreciation and my thanks for it. And I probably would have left it at that if I know, like right now I'm at the job working, you know, 10, 12, 14 hours a day, you know, 7 days a week. I'm not even going to waste your time, man. You know what I'm saying? Off of trying to see what something is. And now I can't actively pursue you the way that, you know, women should be pursued and really get to know you, you know, and we, you know, I'm working so much that, you know, by the time we have our first date, it's 2 weeks later. By the time we had a second date, it's 4 weeks later after that. Like, I'm not that person that's gonna waste your time. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna look at the fellas and be like, you know, man, she cute. You know what I'm saying? Then we gonna chop it up about something else. I'm gonna acknowledge your beauty. I'm gonna thank you for the drink. And then, you know, then we gonna go ahead and get into, you know, guys night and get into whatever else we're doing.
Yeah.
So it just kind of depends on where I'm at in life.
Well, me personally, man, my boys there or not, man, it might be time to go. We may be sideways to the next light, going to the next spot. But me, I'm at least give her my car and acknowledge her, you know, that her gesture.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Thank you.
Be like, look, we, you know, man, you know, it's one of them nights out. You know, I work a bit. I'm quite busy, but you know what?
Look,
I have never.
We don't really get drinks. We don't get drinks and flowers.
You feel me? So it's not often that I get a beautiful lady like you to just send me a drink, just, you know, unsolicited. So look, if you know, whatever day I'm off, you know what I mean? I'm gonna be free, you know, coming next Thursday and next Friday. You know, if one of them work good for you, it's my number. Definitely give me a call. I know a good spot that we can go. And speaking of a good spot, bro, I got the best spot to go out on a date that I think it is just knock socks off, man. You know what I'm saying? But that's something to talk about on a whole other time. Now, I've never done it, but I think it'd be beautiful.
Yeah, I'll wait. Yeah, I mean, I definitely would, want to know, saying these, top notch dating spots, saying as big bro, then probably, saying, a little bit more experience, saying, especially,
Yeah.
with the Bay,
Well,
so, I'm all ears. I'm all ears.
for you, I'll share it. I didn't say it's a dating spot. I'm just saying something I've always wanted to do. I just haven't brought it to fruition.
Okay,
I'll let you
got you,
know.
got
Just
you.
ask me after the call. I got you. I got you. so okay. So look, that was a good icebreaker right there. So let me go ahead and just jump to your first question, man. First question I got for you, man. Have you ever knocked something on the first night?
On the first night,
Yeah.
no,
Okay. Okay.
nah.
All right.
Yeah, every one of, almost everybody that, I've, been intimate with has legit been a partner.
Okay.
Um, and, the only person that wasn't a partner, um, I known them for a while. I known
Yeah.
them for a while. So they wasn't, they wasn't just some, random night, one night stand kind of person. It's like, I've been knowing you for a while. And, just things kind of just led that direction one day.
Let me tell you why that's good. First of all, it shows you was raised right, but also it doesn't make you second guess. Because Mama used to say that. 'Cause, man, I ain't gonna lie. Before I knew you, bro, I used to move fast, man. You know what I mean? We was into a lot. You know what I'm saying? And Mama used to always say, because she would hear our conversation, she'd be eavesdropping. My little mama, man. Uh, and she used to always say though, she give it up the first night, she ain't no good. And in hindsight, in retrospect, man, she was absolutely correct. Most of the women that it turned out to be not much. I'll just put it like that. Not much. Shout out Jim Brown. Not much, but but no. So that's
Message.
so yeah. So the thing about it though is that you did have something of substance that you know what I mean, and that's where I'm at now. My mind frame. I shared the word before. I'll share it again. Demisexual meaning I don't even want no lady to even really come to my house, let alone in my bed, because I very seldom go to another woman's house and get busy. That's a whole other story for a whole other pod. But I need to have a connection of some sort, a deep connection with her before I even think of getting to that level. You know what I mean? Like those days is
Right.
gone. I just can't and ain't going to be, so even if she sent me a glass of the top shelf at the bar, of course I don't drink, but I'm just, back to that story. I'm not gonna put too many peas in that pod that night. You know what I'm saying? I can allude to
Right.
it, and we'll see what the future, holds for the both of us. But nah, yeah.
Let me ask you this, right?
Mm-hmm.
And although I'm not actively in the dating marketplace currently, right?
Right.
And I'm dating somebody, we're trying to see where it's gonna go.
Okay.
But just through guys talk, what I'm saying, through, what I'm saying, hanging out with the boys, hanging out with, nephews and etc. I've noticed that, you know, men aren't, no, men aren't approaching women like they used to. And my question to you is, why do you think that is? Like where, number one, like where did that switch change? Where it went from, I'm gonna go shoot my shot, and I'm gonna see how many numbers I could get to, I'm cool.
Yeah.
And that's what it seems like these days, like recent times,
Yeah.
2020s and up probably. It seems like, guys are just kind of cool. Like, I'm not going out my way. That's what it seems like
Yeah.
when I hear the stories.
Mm-hmm. And I think the idea is that again, here's a miscommunication first. Let me preempt of saying this. Here's the miscommunication because I don't know if you watch shows like Pop the Balloon or whatnot, probably not the best
A
analogy,
little
but a
bit.
little bit, right? So the thing is that women see that as confidence, right? as a man, I see it as strength to be able to refrain from going all, googly eye, gaga Google over any female. Me personally, I have had some of every woman that's in the world. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? Like I haven't. It's very seldom that I see anybody new because even though she's new, I haven't seen her before. I've dealt with somebody like her. Proportions, looks, shapes, maybe even attitudes, which brings me to a point to where certain attitudes I'm not even entertaining. I'm cool, right? So to answer your question, when it comes to that, it gets to the point that it's not the confidence, it's not being rejected. Although I no longer want to be a part of the statistics. You understand what I'm saying?
Right.
So, we throw our hat in a lot of times, and again, that's just by speaking, say, hey, how you doing? Now I mentioned my mother before. My mother could be a firecracker sometimes. And by me living with her for a good portion of my life, every morning I made sure that I go in there and say good morning to my mom. And just by doing that, it came to the point to whereas I could see what kind of day she was having just by her response. You understand what I'm saying? So when I'm outdoors, consequently, and I see a young lady that, whatever, and I speak, I almost read what kind of person this is just by the response. I'm observant by nature. I can't help it. So the answer to your question, I believe in my observations is two things. It's social media and the Me Too movement. Social media, because you never know who can go live. She might have a pair, some clean little shades on, but they Ray-Bans with the little camera in it. And next thing you know, you're on a viral clip. You get what I'm saying? Or, the
Right.
Me Too movement, you
Little TikTok.
I understand what I'm saying? So, or the Me Too movement, you try to pop at her or whatnot. You said this, she misconstrued it at that. Take, for instance, you remember the movie with Boys in the Hood? Remember when in Boys in the Hood, Ice Cube and his boys were standing outside, and a fine little girl came walking past, right? So I remember verbatim because I used it on a Hispanic lady before. But when he first saw her, he was like Chica Bonita, right? Simple enough, and he got her attention, right? I watched the whole thing, the game play out. You know what I mean? So he said, "You should come to my casa. We do the local thing." You know what I mean? Right? So she still was there. So he's like, you got a number, whatever. So as she came over, he said, "Let me knock the stuffing off that egg McMuffin." Right? I'm like, that's JME all day long. You know what I mean? Of course, it's in a movie, and if I was in that same role, I would got a number two. You know what I'm saying? But what I'm trying to say is those same words could be Me Too nowadays. You see what I'm saying? We don't have the freedom to say that kind of stuff because it could either be knock the stuffing off the egg McMuffin, let's go out for breakfast, or let's get busy, baby. You understand what I'm saying? In the bed. And if it's that, and if she's scarred in some kind of way, now you're part of the Me Too movement. You feel me? So a lot of men realizing that these are, again, these are observations. I done saw some videos and everything else. I'm one of the people, I believe the Bible wholeheartedly when it says whatever's good, focus on those things. But even as a DJ throughout the years, I had to listen to a lot of terrible songs to find the cream of the crop. So when I DJ, I play the latest and the greatest. You understand what I'm saying? It's just the way that I am. Right. It's the way I'm wired. That's the process I go through. So naturally, it's a progression that through life that I'm dealing with. So I think in essence, that's what it boils down to is that because there's a possibility of those things happening, it can happen. And that's the reason why we need women to be intentional and let it be known. You understand what I'm saying? Not overly aggressive. If she say something about, tell me how she can suck a golf ball through a water hose, that's an old term, bro. That might go over your head or something like that. You know what I mean? That might, I might be too hurt. No, I wouldn't. But you get what I'm saying? So I'm not saying she got to be that aggressive, but at the same time, let it be known. That's it. Let it be known.
Let it be known you can still be feminine, you know what I'm saying? But, you know what I'm saying, we as guys in today's age, we gotta have a little bit of leeway, on what's acceptable and what's allowed as far as to be able to make that move.
Yeah, exactly. If I'm going to take a walk down this road, at least put a little light on the path so I can see where I'm going. You understand what I'm saying? I'm a stern believer that, and you could appreciate this. They say men are supposed to lead, right? Men are supposed to be good leaders. But I also learned that the best leaders are better followers. You understand what I'm saying? Martin Luther King, as great of a leader he was a follower. He went and learned from Gandhi first and then came back and applied what he knew. So when we meet another lady, we basically meeting a Gandhi. We need to follow a little bit, see where we're going to go, what works and doesn't work. Then we can apply that and
Right.
become the best leaders that we can be. The challenge is getting to the point and being with the person that we are willing to lead, that wants to go where we want to go. And the other side of that challenge is women want to be led, but only where they want to go. And it's more so about them than it is about us. Thus a dilemma. So let me ask you this. Let's, on that note, man, because we all got a woman or two that, we've known since way back in the day, man. Let me ask you, who's the one that you wanted all your life, man? And what is she like? Just to give us an idea, get the ladies an idea of the kind of women that Damian like.
Like you talk about like traits or like actual partners that I dated.
I know there's a girl that you had a crush on way back in the days. Who was she that you wanted way back then? That if you saw her now, she still look good, you still would want her. What is she like?
I don't want to say her name because I don't know her situation these days.
Right.
But
hold on. It is what it is, man. One thing I learned from my OG that if you don't want nobody to look at your girl, you get your ugly one. So, you should feel good when it's some other brothers that like, because best believe in women's, they want somebody that men that they want somebody that the other women like and for whatever reason.
Oh yeah, most definitely.
Ain't.
But I just she could be married, nice family.
Yeah.
Your popular platform randomly throw up in the algorithm. You know what I'm saying? I don't, and I ain't, and if we're talking about the same person, I haven't spoke to her in probably over a decade. You know what I'm saying? And so I definitely wouldn't want to throw no monkey wrench in potentially a happy marriage situation and become like, who is Damian?
This is somebody I know.
This
is somebody I know, you saying?
Let me ask you to repeat the question, because I don't know if you're asking me about somebody in particular, or are you asking me more like...
This is totally random. Only you know the answer. Only you know who she is. If I do know, I'll keep it under wraps. But who is the one lady? Just name one of a few. One lady that you've wanted all your life, and what is she like?
I would say so. I would say there's a lady that from my past, that initially when I first met her, real soft, real feminine, always smiling, very attractive, very positive when I met her. I met her at a business function and, just was a positive being. That has always been something that I gravitated to, in my life.
Describe what it is that you've been gravitated to for the people in the back.
So for me, what I'm really attracted to, definitely when we're talking about, personality, looks is, if I find you attractive, that gets me in the door, right? That makes the introduction, right? It keeps me in the club. You know what I'm saying? Is like you said earlier, the vibe, the energy. And so, if, you're very respectful, you know what I'm saying? You, attentive, right? You know what I'm saying? When we're having our back and forth conversations, trying to get to know each other, it's not me asking you this and then we're just moving on to the next thing. It's you taking the time out to dig deeper on what I just asked you. You know what I'm saying?
It's a two-way conversation.
Right. You know what I'm saying? It's, man, where'd you grow up with? Well, I grew up in Jersey and then that's it. You know what I'm saying? No, I grew up with Jersey. I was raised by my grandmother. I liked it out there, blah, blah. You know what I'm saying? Those kind of really in depth, really, you know what I'm saying? both way conversation. Like, that's really attractive when you're getting to know somebody. It's not like we're just going out to eat somewhere and we doing small talk and it never gains no depth. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's a problem. But when it starts to get a little bit deeper, you know what I'm saying? That's very attractive. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? Whether or not you guys agree on the same things or disagree on a couple of things or not, you know what I'm saying? It's still attractive because you appreciate the realness of somebody that's sitting across from you having this conversation. And it lets you know, man, she just checked another box. You know what I'm saying? Or, I thought we was going to see eye to eye on this, and that's an important thing, but you know, that might be a deal breaker. You know, but you get to have those early conversations in the dating stages, and that's what the dating stage is for, to get to know somebody. And so, you know, if you're able to have those depth kind of conversation, you're able to, you know, be feminine, you know what I'm saying, be affectionate, right? Not overly affectionate, especially if we're just now, you know, dating, right? You know what I'm saying? But let me know you're attracted to me, right? You know what I'm saying? Look at me with those googly eyes, you know what I'm saying? Maybe, you know, maybe, you know, when you laugh, you know what I'm saying? Hey, touch my shoulder, you know what I'm saying? Like,
this out. My show. Yeah.
Right, you know what I'm saying?
Exactly what you're saying.
Let me know those kind of things, right? And then that's going to keep me engaged in the beginning.
And ladies, just for a pause for this woman, Dan, I'm asking anybody that sees this pod to just comment. Is that too much to ask? Is that too much to ask for you to show a little bit? You know what I mean? Take some initiative and show your interest. That's basically what he talked about. Show me that, you know, that we working, we're working a little bit. You know what I mean? It ain't just me. This is about us. You understand what I'm saying? That's what Dame is saying. So on that note, that young lady you're speaking of, because you let me know that I do know her. Yeah, she's a 9.5, 10 on the Richter scale, man. Like, real talk. And
she's a very
personable person.
You know, you probably was there when I met her. I don't remember, you know, exactly the moment I met her, but I just always will remember her. But I thought she was, man, I thought she was the finest thing when I seen her.
Right. The height was right. And,
most definitely.
I don't know how important this aspect of it is, but, yeah, and let me put it like this. This is what I'll say. Her height was right. Her proportions were perfect. There's a lot of sisters. And you know, if you know, you know, there's a lot of sisters that would love to have kidnapped this girl and taken her behind and kept it for themselves. Did I say that right? Did I say that right?
Yeah.
We're in the BBL era now, but we met her before the BBL era.
Right.
There are a lot of sisters that would love to have kidnapped her and taken her derriere and kept it for themselves. I'm just trying to be as PG as possible, saying what I'm saying. Do you agree or not?
No, I definitely agree. And look, and real quick, man, before I say anything, before I let you say anything else, man, you know, it's just because women body parts are bigger doesn't mean that it's naturally better. You know, it don't get me wrong. It's, you know, depending on how it's done, it's probably attractive, but it might not be everyday attractive. It might not be 50 years down the road attractive, right? You know what I'm saying?
That is 100% true.
And so, you know, you don't always necessarily look, man, I know so many male friends that this is what we talk about. We look, I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm keeping it 100 because Ron always say, look, we just keep it 1,000 over here. Look, we talk and judge about women's body because we're physical creatures.
For sure.
You know, not nothing, at least my circle of friends, right? Not nothing I think would be overly disrespectful or anything like that. You know what I'm saying? But if you if you've seen a Tyra Banks back in the day, you appreciate her figure. Doesn't mean you're getting all disrespectful. She's a model. You know her figure is on point because she's a famous model. So it's not necessarily disrespectful. but we acknowledge the beauty. But we acknowledge the natural beauty even more. Like we might have might have conversations where like, you know, well, if I had to, you know, I'll sleep with her or whatever the case may be. But usually those conversations when it comes to like, can you wife her? Those is usually the natural beauties when we was like, I'll marry her. Now, you know, she might not have the biggest booty, man, but it's a nice, legit booty though. You know, she might not have the biggest Angelina Jolie lips, but you know what I'm saying? She got nice lips and they're natural. They're not, you know, what they call it duck lips or whatever when the fillers is too pointing out. Yeah, y'all, you know, but you know what I'm saying.
Yeah, and you said it, and I'm going to say it one more time for the people in the back and for those on the algorithm that doesn't quite get the picture. What we're saying is, because we both know the same person, all I'm saying is, to put it in today's terms, there are people who are going to pay for the body that she naturally had.
Right.
The thing about it is this, your natural self can supersede anything else. Come as you are. We're not asking for all of that. Bottom line, we're not asking for all of that. It just happens to be one of her attributes because she really had a great personality. I think you start off by saying that. And she had a smile that lit up the room and she knew how to engage with people professionally. And at the same time, she could be a good friend because I know I confided in her throughout the years, you know, because we were business partners. That's basically what it was, right? And I know she was a good, genuine person. 100%. So we definitely wish her the best in her endeavors. If she, I don't know the marital status. I know she has her business going on and everything else. So, you know, we wish her the best. You understand what I'm saying? And I'm sure you agree with that, right?
Most definitely. Most definitely. Look, man, I think you might know better than me, you know, being that you know what I'm saying, the famous DJ from the Bay. You know, but I think it was Pac. I think it was Pac that said something along the lines, you know, man, just cause I don't want to, you know, share my plate, you know, don't mean I don't want you to eat either. Or something along those lines, I believe.
Yeah, no, it's good though. It's good. Like I said, definitely a cool little friend. And, you know, it is what it is and was what it was. You know what I'm saying? I don't follow her per se. Every so often I see her. And, yeah, she seemed to be living her best life. And that's cool. Whatever that means, whatever that entails.
You know, after, you know, kind of talking about, you know, my ideal, person of attraction that initially, you know, draws me to them. Let me ask you this. It's two-part question. Number one, right? Being that you spoke on, you know, on different videos and different pods, you know, saying about, you know, getting married and it not working out. The first question is, would you get married again?
In a heartbeat, and the answer is going to be yes. And the reason why is because I know that that's the Lord's plan for us. Not to say everybody in the Bible was married, but he has instituted a plan that, you know, a man and a woman are supposed to get married and be together. So it's my prayer that we can do that. And together we glorify him in that manner and receive all the blessings that he got in store for the two of us. What was the second part of the question?
And so the second question, since you would get married again, which I thought you would, you know, you just seem like that kind of brother.
But I'm not in a hurry to do it, man. I'm not so optimistic no more.
You know, and so my second part of the question, which I'm glad you said that, right? Is that in today's age where I think they say the divorce record is, you know, 80%, and you unfortunately contribute to that statistic a little bit. Would you, as being a man of faith, would you get married? So as a man of faith that went through a divorce, what is your opinion about wanting to get married and have that commitment, but not have the government involved? Like, don't want to legally get married and have it be recognized, by the federal government, but I still want my pastor, to marry us, in front of God and maybe some family and friends. I still want to announce my commitment, and have vows for my partner, and go that route instead of like going to the courthouse and having them do all this extra stuff.
Yeah. That's a dilemma within itself for a lot of men, particularly those who have stature and everything else. And I'm the kind of person that, let me just say this first. First of all, my faith above everything else, any and everything else, is in the Lord. And it has to be, right. Losing my little lady,
Right.
my mother, it showed me a lot that, you think that you have so many people with it. And you and I have talked about this too. Your mother's alive, she's doing well and everything else. But, I'm just prepare yourself for whatever. You know what I mean? I used to always hear my pastor talk about it when folks in the church would lose a loved one. Prepare the family, tell them, hey, look out, because this is when the devil likes to get busy. And so the thing about it, though, it all worked really for my better. You know what I mean? Because I prospered. I'm still blessed beyond measure. In the aftermath of it, my mother and my father both leaving the scene. But more than anything, what it did is brought me closer to the Lord to put more and more faith in Him as I started to realize that I couldn't trust the people that were down here on earth with me. So, with that being said, one of the reasons why I haven't gotten married again, and because we keep it 1,000, you probably don't even realize this because you remember my second wife. You didn't know I was married the first time, right? And so it's for a
Right.
total of 3 years. You know what I mean? And both times, we weren't ready the first time. We're not on the same page. And second time, right thing with the wrong person, which is therefore bringing me to where I'm 15 years now. And here's something that I don't share a lot, and it's going to be in a podcast, but majority of this 15 years has been celibate because I really wanted to take the time to let something grow organically and find somebody who really loved me for me, as opposed to anything I did to her or for her, if you know what I'm saying, right? And I
Right.
know this is because it's just it's a personality kind of thing, and I really had a good woman that was like that, but we had crossed the line though, so that was part of it. And so I'm saying all that to say, my answer does not change. Yes, I would get married because I know that's what the Lord wants for me. I know He wants me to be married as opposed to doing what the old folks call shacking up, getting a girlfriend, living together, whatever. The girl who you would have liked her too, bro. You would have liked her, but she basically had moved in with me without us even talking about it and everything else. You know what I mean? I appreciate the notion and everything. Glad you like me enough for you to do that, but it wasn't right, and I still was dealing with this. My mother was living and everything else, and she was very sick, dealing with all that. But here's the thing that I would do, though. Here's what I would do. I truly believe in where I am now is where I'm at right now. This is where I'm at right now. So, and I'm speaking, homeowner to homeowner. This is what I would suggest. This is what I plan to do. Let me put it like this. This is what I plan to do. And you can take it for what it's worth. As a homeowner, not because I need somebody of status, but I need somebody who's about to become a homeowner or is a homeowner herself. Not so she can come live with me, not so I can go live with her, but because we can both purchase a home to live in together and take our current properties and use those as income property for us. You understand what I'm saying? And then
Right.
from there, we grow from there. That way, if for whatever reason we don't make it, for whatever reason, trust in the Lord that we will. And if so, that's even better. But if not, we still have what we came into the marriage with. Now, what we accumulated along the way, that is something that needs to be planned out where we could. Who wants to go to court? And that's one good thing about my divorces, both times, because I didn't have none really. But it wasn't the second wife just wanted her last name back. You know what I'm saying? Cool, you got
Right.
that. The first time around was a little more difficult, but She's one of my best friends now. I don't even know if you know my first wife. And y'all lived on the same block, which is crazy, but y'all a few years different in age. But she's like a best friend now. Spoke to her today. You know what I'm saying? And she's
Look,
happy
look,
to be with me.
look. We know how small the world is sometimes. Look,
Right.
you been knowing my family stay where they stay at, you know what I'm saying, all my life. I don't think I actually met you until I was what, 19, 20?
Yep, something like that. If you're 40, you was probably around 21 when I met you, because I was in like 2006 when we met.
Right? So,
Yeah, but I knew your sister. Went to high school with her. She's a couple years younger than me. So there that is. But and shout out to your sister. She was one of the finest ladies in our neighborhood. As was my first wife, one of the finest. I'm talking about top 5 in the whole neighborhood. And some fine was around there. Ask some homeboys from around the way. You know what I mean? So I'm saying all that to say, again, it's not about looks. I've had all of that before. Both of my women, both of my wives, I'm sorry, was fine and thick. You know what I'm saying? So of course I don't want to go backwards. You know what I mean? I want something that's appealing to the eye, a package that I want to see. But more important than anything is, what do we do for one another? How do we make each other feel? How do we add to each other's lives? And that's basically what I give you a blueprint of, to be able to add. Because if you have somebody that don't have nothing, and that's cool. But one of the best parts about this time and age is that we have a lot of ladies who are really striving and doing their thing. You know what I mean? So why should we aspire to have somebody who's got it going on, and again, add to one another? You know what I mean? So there's that. But again, that's where the dilemma comes, because you have some ladies who are really striving and doing their thing, and then they get to the point where they think they're too good. You know what I'm saying? So it's going to be a part about that.
right.
The people who thinking they're better than thou, because that same Bible that I said that, whatever's good, focus on those things. It also says that we are supposed to look at each other and esteem others higher than ourselves. Imagine if you had a wife who esteemed you higher than her, and you esteemed her high as well, and y'all are doing your best to not praise one another, but hold each other in high regard. What kind of problems would y'all have in that situation? What, you gonna be mad because she cooked you breakfast before you can get up and cook her breakfast, and vice versa? I mean, what kind of problems y'all gonna have? You know what I mean? Does that make sense?
Yeah, most definitely.
Do you think that could happen? We don't know.
Yeah, we
We don't know.
we don't know.
But if the Bible says it, and that's what I want to do, I really would like to have somebody who, we don't have to necessarily be 100% equally yoked, but at least wanting to learn a little bit more, and move in that direction, and and believe the same thing, and that goes back to that leadership thing that we talked about. You know what I'm saying? If she just want to be led to the bed, and I'm trying to lead with in the head, there's some tension there. That's a dilemma within itself. So anyway, I didn't mean to take too much time, bro, but I mean, that's a great question. I hope I answered it. I hope that I answered it.
Yeah, you answered it for you.
Okay. How would you answer that same question then?
Well, so look, man, to keep it short and simple, because lately the more I've been trying to grow, grow more with my relationship with the Lord and things that come on my mind. Mm-hmm. I've always looked at it from the standpoint of, if I wasn't in this country and I was somewhere else, how would I get married? Like, what would be the procedure for me to get married without this government?
Say it one more time.
And
just one more time.
If I've always thought, right, that if I wasn't in the United States, mm-hmm. I was somewhere else, stranded on an island, didn't know it was people, found out it ended up being people, right? And mm-hmm. I found somebody, I found a person that I wanted to make my wife, but I didn't have the government there to get it done. Like, how would that go? So my thought process my thought process would always been to you know what I'm saying, the conversation that you would have with the Lord and the agreement with you and your partner and the Lord, and that would supersede whatever, government institution of marriage is. And so for me, I don't think there's nothing wrong with doing things the traditional way of getting married, going to the courthouse or having this big wedding, getting your marriage license. But I also don't think there's nothing wrong with not doing that, but still making a commitment to your partner, in front of God, and honoring that commitment, if that makes sense.
Well, when it all boils down to, that's what it's all about. The commitment that you make to your wife makes to you in front of the Lord. Because the first time I got married, we went to Reno, got married, came back, and here we are. The second time that you were part of that wedding, you know what I mean? You, my boy Johnny, may rest in peace, and then my childhood best friend Gerald. Y'all were there. Big wedding, you know what I mean? 3 years collectively, total. You understand what I'm saying? So again, it's all about the vows that is made. That's what it hinges upon in front of the Lord. But here's something else though that I said, and again, this is not no slight against my second wife. To whoever know her, they know her. But here's something that I haven't shared really with a whole lot of people. I initially wanted to get married, and I fell in love with the idea of being married to the wife that
Mm-hmm.
you know. But
Yeah.
along the way, the Lord told me don't do it, and I did it anyway because I was already in love with it. Of course, I was already in love with the notion, and we did it, and it was not blessed. Our marriage was not blessed, and pretty soon I gave up. I mean, all right, Lord, your way. And the crazy part about it, Dame, because I'm gonna keep it 1,000,
Right.
and I'm hoping somebody can listen to this because, like Tupac once said, you could run the street sign. What did he say? You could run the red lights, but at least read the street signs. You understand what I'm saying? And it got to a point, December 30th, going into the 31st of 2009, where I prayed before I went to bed that the Lord would take me away from her. And the next night, we did not sleep in the same bed and have not slept in the same bed ever since. And it's not to glorify or anything like that, but it just shows how real he is. Now, people going to say what they want to say about it, but I know what happened. You know what I mean? And we can't be cordial, but I almost have to push up to get the conversation. For instance, we graduated at the same time, so we've been in the same arenas because, like you say, Richmond is a small place.
Right.
And because we're there, it's one time we had a birthday party, and it's like, okay, class of 91. All of class of 91, you know what I mean? And she got the hint, and she jumped in on the picture. You know what I'm saying? So it's, I hate that it's that way, but the reality is what it is. You understand what I'm saying? And for whatever reason, that's what the reality is. But that's what happened. You know what I'm saying? So I'm saying all that to say it's why it's important to make sure you're doing the right thing with the right person. You understand what I'm saying? So even if it took you 3 years and y'all found out y'all wasn't right and y'all broke it off, she moved back to Seattle or wherever, and or whatever the case may be. So what? Eventually, if the Lord say the same, that right
Right.
one is going to come along, and that's what we have to hold our hats on. Eventually, there's a right one for everybody. It's just up to us. Are we ready to receive who that right one is? You understand what I'm saying? So, and that's why I forgot to ask you this question at the beginning, but I know you're a good dude. You know what I'm saying? But that's one of my questions, preliminary questions. Are you a good one? You consider yourself a good dude, right?
Right.
A good man?
Yeah, I consider myself a good dude.
Yeah.
Definitely a good man.
And I know that you
Look, you know me. Look, just out of the people that I've dated. I to this day I still got good relationships.
right.
With everybody that I've ever been involved with. No bad blood, no beef. My mom still waved to them. My mom still talked to some of them.
Yeah.
So and I think and ultimately that's what we're striving to be. We striving to be saying good men and women. Saying that if things don't work out, that's fine. But it's no drama. It's no BS.
Absolutely
It's no hostility.
not.
It's look, it just he just wasn't for me. She just wasn't for me. You know what I'm saying? We dated for a while to see if we was compatible, to see if we was aligned with our faith and where we're trying to go in life. And we noticed we wasn't, and that's okay. And whether that notice took a year or whether it took 10, it doesn't really matter.
Because the wrong thing to do is to force something that's not a good fit. That's the wrong thing to do. Trust and believe.
Right.
Yeah. And with her, that's the one thing that hurts me the most because I'm like you, bro. I want to say 97 out of 100 women I've been with, we still cool to this day. And just like you and the other young lady, we, get back together, it'd be cool. Sometimes intimately cool and everything else. That's why I say I was celibate, but I slipped a few times too. You know what I'm saying? In different ways and different people, you know what I mean? And that's all good, It's good to have some good friends. You understand what I'm saying? But
Look, yeah, we all fall down, but like the song said, we gotta get up.
Back up. And not only the song, the scripture says that a good man is able to get up more time than they fall down. Here's the other side of it though. When my mom passed though, she did send me a card in the mail though. So that I thought that was huge. And then consequently a couple months later, her relative passed away drowned and couldn't find out it was my homeboy's son. And then that's when I found out that her and my homeboy were related. You know what I mean? Through that little boy, And so I think I inboxed her on Facebook,
Right.
to express my condolences. And that's cool. You got to be thankful for little small victories like that. That who knows? Me and her might see each other because, here go one more thing. She was my little girlfriend in the 12th grade because she didn't go to my school. I didn't want nobody at my same school. I didn't want nobody at my same job, in my same neighborhood, unless she was one of the finest ones around there. And we were together for about a week in high school and then reconvened again when I was 20. Let's see, I was driving my Ford. I was 31 years old when I saw her again. And at the Mike Epps comedy show. And I was with my boy. And I said, look, that's such and such, man. Call her over. We parked a lot pimping on our way out of there. That's what it's called back then. Anyway. So, he called over for me and I hollered, got the number, and the rest was history, bro. You know what I mean? So man, it's good to be on the good side. I'm telling you, because when you go through hard times like that, you can comport yourself in a way to whereas y'all might be hurt, but it ain't gonna be no bitter. There ain't gonna be no back and forth, and you know what I mean. You ain't got to go call your baby daddy to get his pistol. I ain't gonna call my sister to go slap you up and all that kind of stuff and everything. I've had a relationship like that too. I used to threaten with my cousin. That used to make her act right, but nobody want to live like that. You understand what I'm saying? So, man, I commend you on that, bro. To have those friends that, like you say, because who knows what the future might bring. She might realize 3 years from now that, you know what? Not only did I love him, I actually love NorCal. Richmond was a vibe. You know what I'm saying? And she might be, ready to come back. And because we didn't have all of that, the barriers are not as high. So, if you single enough and willing enough, hey, come on back. You know what I mean? Come on back, babe. You know what I mean? And turn it into something. So,
Right.
So on that note, man, if you were to do it again, though, would you rather go the wife and 4 kids route, or are you cool with the way you are now? That's a tough one, huh?
If so, when at least for me, right? When I have these conversations about going back in time, what would I do differently? Do I got regrets and this, that, and the third? Or I'm little scrolling on Facebook or something, and you see the little Facebook games of about going back in time to fix this mistake, or win $10 million or whatever the case, man. My thought process have always been based upon, do I get to keep my knowledge of knowing what I know now if I go back?
Ooh.
Because if I go back knowing now, my life could be totally different, even if I don't know the results of other people's lives that I might want to know, right? So, for example, the young lady in SoCal, not saying that I would know that, hey, she's going to be dating this person at this time, or or, you know, she really liked this person at this time, you know what I'm saying? And I could, you know, go down to LA, you know, 2 years before I actually met her and, you know, sneak up in, and maybe that would have made the difference or anything like that. I'm just saying, like, based upon like my actions, if I'm self-aware of my actions in the past, and going back is really tough, but I think I would totally do things differently, and my life probably would not be what it is at all. Because just something that you probably don't know, I don't think we ever talked about it, but like my very first like legit girlfriend, like official girlfriend, I didn't do it right at all. I didn't, don't get me wrong, I didn't treat her bad, like abusive or anything like that, man, but I was so nonchalant in that relationship. Hey babe, I want to go to the movies, and I don't feel like going out. You know what I'm saying? Like, I was so that, like, you know, man, we ain't went out in a while. I'm like, well, I'm hanging out with the fellas today. You know what I'm saying? Like, that was me in my very first relationship, not taking her feelings seriously. And I know she loved and adored me. You know what I'm saying? And so if I know now what I know now, but I was just to go back, you know what I'm saying, back then, and be able to start the dating process, the serious dating process all over, I would probably treat her way better. And who knows where we would be at today. Now, she's doing great today, you know, after we split and everything. I talk to her from time to time just to check up on her. Doing great. Got a young son that's the little joy of life, according to, you know, the Facebook pictures and stuff they be taking. But I definitely know, like, my first relationship, as I'm older now and I look back on that relationship, like, she would have gave me the clothes off her back if I needed it. Had me in skinny jeans and all if I was pantsless in the street. That's how much she cared for me, you know what I'm saying? And I didn't give her that same love and respect back, you know what I mean? And so if I could go back with the knowledge, I would do stuff differently, and probably would have, you know what I'm saying, gotten married, had the kids, probably would have married her and everything, you know what I'm saying? And life would have been totally different. You know, if I could go back without knowing, then I just don't need to go back. I think I've turned out pretty good, you know, with my quote unquote mistakes that I made, that I've learned from along the way. And I used to think about the SoCal lady a lot. Because that was my longest relationship. You know, that was the one person that, you know, I got engaged to, I got a ring for, the only person that I got a ring for, and was like trying to make that step and that commitment, and it didn't work out. And so I used to think about her a lot, about, man, if I could just go back, maybe it was something, right? Maybe if I could have did this and I could have, you know, did this to show that she could trust me as the leader of the household, as a provider for her while she's away from her family in NorCal. And, you know, I used to think like that, but, you know, it's possibly, only Lord knows, but it's possible. But I'm content with where I'm at in life. I'm dating somebody right now currently that's bringing me a lot of peace right now, that help me directly and sometimes indirectly, you know what I'm saying, to, you know, make sure that, you know, my focus stays on the Lord, and, you know, read my Bible, pray for people a lot more, you know what I'm saying, become a better person overall. And even though that I don't know where this relationship will go, but the peace that she brings me currently, when I look back at all my other serious relationships, is different. But I'm different. You know what I'm saying? And so I probably took those little pieces from, you know, girlfriend number 1, girlfriend number 2 became a better person, girlfriend number 3 became a better person. And now, because I'm so much of a better person now, I'm able to treat her the way that I probably should have been treating my exes. And now I'm getting the benefit of treating her the way that I probably should have been treating my exes. And so now it's just a beautiful, you know what I'm saying, moment in life right now. And, you know, we just I'm just excited to see, you know, where this ship goes.
Here's what it sounds like to me. Not only are you getting better, but I do believe that the good women are becoming better. So we're not only apt or able to give, but they've gotten better to where they can willingly receive without the thought that, okay, what's the angle, what's the snow job or whatever. It could be something that's legitimate. It could be something that's real, and we can just, hey, just roll with it. I mean, I'm happy for you, bro. I didn't, you talked about it a little bit, so I'm happy for you, man. I certainly do wish you the best. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, I wish you the best because I know she got a good one, and I hope that she sees it for what it's worth, and able to rock with you. You know what I'm saying? Keep that smile on your face, man. I know you mentioned y'all went out today. You want to share a little bit what y'all did today?
Yeah, so like for me personally, right? So, you know, for the audience, you know, I work at UPS. I'm one of the individuals that's always work 12, 14 hours, even though like right now our volume is pretty low. You know, it's not a lot of hours, but because I'm a union rep, you know, I'm on the safety team, you know, I'm a veteran employee. It's just a lot that requires my time. So I'm at work a lot, and because I'm at work a lot, that's automatically makes it hard for me to accommodate, you know, saying people into my schedule as it is, right? Some days I work 7 days out the week instead of 5. And so, she also has 2 jobs, has some kids. The kids got sporting events. So her schedule is just naturally crazy. So now we're just 2 crazy, busy people trying to make it happen. And today was one of those days where we was able to like actually like, oh, I'm off today. Oh, I'm free this time. And so we just took the time off, man, to like really just go out on a nice little breakfast date. We went down to Crumbs. For y'all that don't know, that's in like the edge of Concord and Pleasant Hill. Nice little like Hispanic restaurant, breakfast joint.
Highly recommend.
Spent time there. Yeah, I had the French toast, the berries French toast. I really enjoyed it, and the orange mimosa. She had some Hispanic dish that I can't never pronounce. It got chips and had like an egg on it.
Huevos rancheros.
Huh?
Huevos rancheros.
Nah, it started with a C.
It
started with a C. Chipolatas or chipolatas or something like that.
Never heard of it.
You know, man, the Hispanic folks probably know what I'm butchering, probably.
Yeah.
But because it's been a minute, we used to go out on, you know, we used to have, you know, Friday weekly dates where we go out for lunch, you know, for, 90 minutes or whatever, you know, on our lunch break or whatever the case may be. But because schedule got crazy, you know, we just wasn't having those date time, and, you know, we realized that we wasn't having those date time, so we had to, move some stuff around. And so we just moved some stuff around, had breakfast for about 2 hours, just chopping it up, catching up, talking about life and everything. Then we went to Benicia and just, walked around the water and just kind of hung out.
Now see, ladies and gentlemen, that's what people do. When they want to get together, that's what we do. You know what I mean? Like he said, change, rearrange a little this, a little that, and get together and make it happen. So again, man, I'm happy for you. Real fast before I bring this thing to a close, man. I asked you earlier, man. Are you yes or no? You're a Tupac fan?
I like Tupac. I won't say that I'm a fan, but because I look at a fan as somebody that's like could really enjoy their musically really enjoy their music so much where like they want to hear it, you know what I'm saying? They got it in rotation some kind of way, or it's like almost a schedule, like, hey, every Mother's Day I gotta slap that dear mama, you know what I'm saying? Like it's something that always have you going back to, like, I could listen to this artist at any given time, doesn't matter what song necessarily, but if he's on, I'm not skipping.
Okay, gotcha.
And I'm not that with Tupac. like if he's on, depending on the song, depending on my mood, mainly my mood.
For sure. Well,
depending on if I'm skipping it or
the
not.
reason why I'm asking is because I'm a fan. He's #1 on my list of best to ever done it. Favorite rappers, however you want to call it. It's Tupac #1. And so, you know, I got another channel, DJ Ryan, the classic DJ from the Bay. And so, just finished editing part 1, and part 2 is just about done as well. 10 songs that everybody, no matter race, creed, color, age, whatever, 10 songs that everybody needs to hear from Tupac. So I'll be interested. I'll let you know when it's up. Telling y'all, don't forget to subscribe to that page. That's my musical content, everything. This is the Christian page. That's the musical content page. It's for everybody though. I'm excited about it. You know what I'm saying? So make sure you tap in with that, Dave. So just want to bring it back home. As far as for starters, you know, ladies, it's cool for y'all to start something. Might turn it into something beautiful. You know what I mean? And just like that young lady, we agree she's an 8. We're gonna say she's a strong 8, right? And you know, she didn't like rejection, you know, and I just want to just put it to y'all like this. Sometimes you got to put yourself in the other person's shoes. I just want to say, ladies, if she felt like that, if y'all feel like that, how do y'all think we feel when you know and we know, like ladies, y'all know you're a catch, right? You don't want to be dropped, aka rejected. Well, we feel like we're catches too. You understand what I'm saying? So we feel like we're somebody for somebody. You understand what I'm saying? So don't be afraid to make that move. You know what I mean? We want you, but we ain't always ready to hear it. No. You get what I'm saying? We want you to be attracted to us. I promise you. And it's not all about the looks and everything else. It's just, you know, take your shot sometime too. You understand what I'm saying? Catch you a good brother like Dame, good brother like myself, you know what I mean? If I do say so myself. But no, seriously though, I think our community, that's part of the thing that we're, because we so many videos, so much stuff pit us against one another when really we are on each other's side. You understand what I'm saying? So why don't we be side by side? You know, it's good to be a good person, first of all. You don't have to put on this facade. You know, ladies believe that the more that they earn back, you know, fellas like that toxic stuff. We ain't entertain nothing toxic tonight. We've been talking about the good qualities and where we like in ladies. So take some notes. You know what I mean? Go ahead and answer that thing. It's good to be good, but it's better to get better. And together we definitely can. So look, I want to thank my guy, my little brother. You know what I mean? Mr. Law, my brother in life. Man, I certainly wish you the best.
In time, brother.
And I mean, thanks again for the time tonight. Thanks again for the time tonight. Maybe we'll get you on again, man. You think you'd be interested in something like that?
Man, any topic, any questions, doesn't matter. I got opinions for days. Just let me know when.
I'm gonna ask you to pick a topic, bro. You run across something, man, bring it to me, man. Surprise me with something. Is that all right?
Hey, man, you just let me know. I got topics around here. You know what I'm saying? You let me know, and you know, it might get a little spicy.
Fair enough, bro. Hey, at that time, it'd be your show. It'd be your show. So, man, take care. As always, God bless. Appreciate y'all. Don't forget to like, to comment, to subscribe. More content coming through. Shout out to you, because you're a good one for making it this far.
Appreciate it, brother. One love. All right.
Genesis to Revelation.
Later.
This the story of a good one. In the middle of the madness. Let it be known.
Gospel Luke cut to a true.
I'm a soldier in the struggle, dilemma of a good one. Trying to read the signs while I'm moving with the hood one. Scripture in my ear, feel the weight of the test. But the streets pull me back, Lord grant me rest. Matthew told me pray, Romans keep me strong. Dilemma of a good one, trying to right these wrongs. Temptation in the mirror, spirit in the sky. I'm a good one in the battle, never let the faith die. This dilemma of a good one, walking that fine line. Faith in my heart, but the struggle on my mind. I'm the dilemma of a good one. Standing in the light between the pulpit and the block, trying to do right. Dilemma of a good one, hold on to the truth. From the block to the booth, trying to find my proof. Dilemma of a good one, walking with the saints. Even when I stumble, never showing no complaints. So, rolling through the bay, dilemma of a good one. Gospel in my speakers, never backing from the front. Ephesians on my mind, trying to keep my spirit up. Proverbs in the chamber when the game get tough. Matthew 7 in my pocket, wolves trying to bite. But the good one in the hustle, moving righteous in the night. DJ cut the beat, bring it back, scratch it raw. Dilemma of a good one, scripture in my draw. Dilemma of a good one, faith on my tongue. The line we are so holy, where the real get it done. I'm a bishop in the trenches, watch me speak in these flows. Scripture mixed with hustle, yeah, the good one never falls. It's the dilemma of a good one, like a prayer in the mist. Trying to dodge a serpent's hiss, keep my spirit legit. I'm the good one in the battle, never fade. In the cuts, spade, lingo when Bible talk, never switching up. This dilemma of a good one, walking that fine line. Faith in my heart, but the struggle on my mind. I'm the dilemma of a good one, standing in the light between the pulpit and the block, trying to do right. Yeah. Dilemma of a good one, seek dilemma of a good, dilemma of a good one. Dilemma of a good one, dilemma of a good, dilemma of a good one. Dilemma of a good one. From the concrete to the pew, Bay Area stand up, spirit strong, never lose. DJ run in the mix, keep it holy in the groove. Dilemma of a good one, it's for the chosen few. Dilemma of a good one, dilemma of a good one. Dilemma of a good one, dilemma of a good one. Dilemma of a good one, dilemma of a good one. Dilemma of a good one, dilemma of a good one.